We both were staying in Nizam College hostel in different rooms. So, in fact, it took a lot of time for both of us to adjust to the city atmosphere. Quite often, we used to exchange our ideas and share our emotions. First of all, for staying in Hyderabad. Later on, somehow we got adjusted. And in the second year, we both of them took physical chemistry as specialization. There were 6 students. We were 2. Then only I recognized that Adinarayana was speaking. I'm sorry, I will call only Adinarayana, not Professor Adinarayana. Because mine is a very long association and he was spending a lot of time in the laboratory. Because then only probably I thought that it gave him an idea that to learn science, you have to spend a lot of time in the laboratory. Could be. We finished, both of us finished MSc in 1973. He immediately joined research under the supervision of Professor Navneet Rao and did research in the field of reaction science. He received GRF of rupees 250 those days from the UGC. In 1973, he was already married. And the person sitting here, Ashok, was just a few months old in 1973. And they were staying in a rented house in Nalaputta. But my family conditions forced me to take a job instead of joining research. And I joined as a lecturer in the university in 1973. But I was staying in Nalaputta, and then we continue our very close association, meeting each other every time. And in the laboratory, he was working under supervision of Professor Navneet Rao and also Professor Setu. There, he was staying in the laboratory, I remember, for more than 10 hours. Despite having a family at this place, used to come at 9:30 or 10 and leave by 7 o'clock in the evening. Professor Navneet Rao was, many of you may be knowing that he was mostly interested in administration, apart from academics. So he used to come sometime late in the evening, and every time he comes, he finds Adinarayana in the laboratory and the rest of the people have gone. So that is the commitment of Adinarayana in those days. After completing the PhD program, Adinarayana joined as a lecturer at Railway Degree College. He became very popular there because of his inborn qualities as a teacher, as a very soft gentleman. He became so popular among the students that they never used to miss his class. After spending some years in Railway Degree College, he moved to the university and became my colleague in the university. I have seen him teaching in close quarters. At the MSc level, he was interested in teaching quantum chemistry and thermodynamics. He was very fond of those subjects. He was working in Cyberbath College for a few years. There, he was very much interested in taking BSc class because he used to tell me that these BSc students come from rural background. They must be motivated because they have language problem mostly, and they lack in several experimental skills. Therefore, he used to spend in the laboratory, BSc laboratory, for hours together, teaching the students meticulously all the experimental skills, how to hold a test tube, how to add a reagent, whether you hold the test tube in vertical position or in a slanting position. So meticulously he was giving the instructions. Whenever I go to the laboratory, really I was just astonished the way he was dealing with the students. And all these things made him very popular among the students. The students are almost considered him as a family member. Because I was a very reserved person, therefore students used to be a little bit far away from me. But they took all the liberty in coming to him, talking to him, even about their family problems, and he used to console them if they had any problem, and they were feeling highly comfortable. I realized that that is the real talent of a teacher. After a few years, between 84 and 90, he went to Germany as a postdoctoral research fellow. And he worked in Max Planck Institute for Strahlungschemie, that is in the radiation chemistry division. He was working mainly on the effects of radiation on DNA and how the strand of DNA breaks down when you irradiate, what is the mechanism of strand breakage, what is the kinetics involved, how can you repair a strand, which is broken strand, by using several reagents. He was working with one Professor Schulte Hollinde. And in the initial stages, he spent 2 years there. Impressed by his dedication for research, after a gap of 1 year, he was again invited there. He spent 1 more year there. That is total 3 years he spent there. Now, after coming here, of course, he had several problems. In fact, M.Adinarayana came a very hard way in his life. Both his parents passed away in an early age, and because he had 2 elder brothers. The eldest brother was the one who supported his education and everything. That gentleman was really a wonderful person, his eldest brother, because he was physically challenged. Because I used to interact with all the family members. He was not able to move, but still he managed to see that M.Adinarayana is well educated. So later on, he lost both his elder brothers. But most shocking incident occurred in 91, where unfortunately his wife expired. In the same way, so suddenly, it was a heart attack. And I must say that M.Adinarayana was really highly disturbed. He went into the shell for a few years, I can say. It is his family, mostly his father-in-law and his family. And then friends like us, who had really helped them. I can take the pride that friends like us also helped him. And then to come out of that shell and the depression, then he used to concentrate heavily and academics. You see, I mean, most of you are science background. I can say that the MSc level, I have seen that whenever he goes to the laboratory, I'm sorry, I can take another 2 or 3 minutes. It's okay or not? Huh? Because not able to stop talking about you. Just another 2 minutes. You see, he was so much interested in motivating the students in the laboratory that he used to clearly say, experiment is only 50%, manual labor, 50% of the work. Other 50% is more important. How do you manipulate data that you watch? That's the first step. How do you interpret the data? This is what he used to tell them. How precise your data, how accurate is your data. What is the difference between these two? This is what meticulously he was advising them. I really was shocked the way he was, in fact, interacting with the students in the laboratory. But later, after the years, when he was nearing his retirement in 2010, I retired from service in 2011, and he in 2010, July. He was always, we were discussing quite frequently, almost every day or once in 2 days. He was always very much interested in doing something for the education system, because he was interacting with the students at the rural level, rural background. So therefore, he thought that something we should do for these students. So the best way to do is go to the school, not to the college. Then he decided that JUV is the right place. He is the right platform from where he can work. So he was really focusing on 2 things. To do something with education at the school level, the first part is to equip the teacher. The second part is motivate the students. Because he used to always discuss and he used to say that the teacher has to be well equipped first. Because an ill-equipped teacher would damage generations of students. So that is the reason why through JVV he was very enthusiastically involved in teacher programs. I was saying that he conducted some 85 programs. So almost every day he was saying where he was going. Adilabad Vena by tribal students, all these things we were discussing with each other. The second part is how to inculcate scientific temper in the young students. That is developing in them the attitude to think logically and rationally. This is what he was very much interested in. He thought that the best way to do this is to encourage them to ask questions. Instead of curbing their curiosity, he used to say that feed their natural curiosity. Then automatically scientific temper would come. So this is what he practiced in fact. So like that, I can say many things about my close friend. But anyhow, this is a very shocking news. And Adinarayana ధన్యజీవి, because ఇంతమంది అభిమానులు శ్రేయోభిలాషులను సంపాదించుకొని ఆయన వెళ్ళిపోయినాడు.